Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Charlton Live. I hope you guys are well. My name is Louis Mendez, and on this fine Sunday morning, we'll be looking back at yesterday's late 1-0 home win against Leyton Orient that keeps up the Addicts' 100% record at the start of this League One season. Joining me to discuss yesterday's victory, if she can, as with her voice as it is, first up, top right, Sue Gallup. How you doing, Sue?
I'm all right. I just got a bit of a funny voice. Too much shouting yesterday.
That's what a last-minute winner will do to you at the Valley. I think there's a lot of people with sore throats and voices that are on the turn this morning in the southeast London area. Joining us, bottom of the screen. I don't know how your voice is, Tom. Out of 10, how are you doing this morning?
Mine's fine. I thought you were going to make a joke about me having a funny face or something, but
yeah, where's your new away kit gone? Hang on.
Needs to go for a wash. It was very hot, wasn't it, yesterday, and sticky, and it hasn't gone through the wash yet. So, change of scene today. Sorry, but it'll be back next time.
Nathan's in the chat asking where it is as well, and we're all very disappointed to see it. Well. So, I mean, because normally, like, I can just about live with the face if we get the exciting yellow shirt to go with it, but without, I mean, it's just I've just got to look at your face, and it's a really taken the edge off my good feeling this morning now. So, on today's show, we'll listen back to the goal from the Charlton TV commentary shortly from yesterday. Luke Berry's strike right at the end of that game. Of course, we'll hear the post-match press conference with Nathan Jones, which is a good one, as always, as you'd expect. And I was lucky enough to get to speak to the goal scorer, Luke Berry, after yesterday's game as well. So we'll hear that later on in the show. Of course, we want to hear from you guys as well. Loads of you in the chat. Sam, first one in there to say good morning. Morning to Jake and Joseph and Paul and Andrew and Dudley's in there. Jeremy, Valiant, Shiny Fields in there. Matt, George, Gary, Gavin Carter's in there. I think everyone just wants to get together and reminisce about another win for the Addicts and a late goal, which was absolutely a superb moment. Nathan Jones herring down the touchline. It's one of those images you won't forget for a while. And Mark, our very own Mark Newbury said, "Morning, folks. We can't beat that 3-point feeling. At my boys' first game, so off to a good start, even though one said it was too noisy." Well, they're going to have to get used to it. If we're going to keep winning games all season, Mark, they're going to have to get used to the noise. I hope they had a good day yesterday. That's right. I mean, before we hear the goal, Sue, sum up your feelings at full time yesterday, if you can.
Oh, it's just, I don't know, relief, exhaustion, just joy. It was, I don't know, it's weird. I haven't felt that excited about a win for a long time. I don't know. I think it was the nature of the win. I feel like it wasn't a pretty game, but we battled. And I mean, I know I saw you after the game. You were saying about the back four, and I'm sure you'll come on to that, like, in the goalkeeper, and just to feel like we've got a team. Like, I don't know. It's. I guess I hope I'm making sense, but I feel like we've got our team back in, and I can't get carried away because it's 2 wins, but the signs are there that we've got the making of something special, and I don't know. I was just so happy for the lads, and especially Luke Berry, like, scoring that goal, because I kind of knew he's got this history with Nathan, and I just think, like, having him in, I knew he was going to do a job, and I'm just chuffed that goal went in for him. So yeah, just amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, it was absolutely a wonderful moment at the Valley. Dean Chapman saying, "Don't forget, Guy Luzon done that same run when we got a last-minute winner." That was after 2 wins out of 2 at the start of the season as well, and we went on to get relegated. So let's not get carried away too much. But let's have a listen back to the goal from yesterday. We'll discuss the performance. We'll discuss where you can see that we've improved from last season in elements as well. So let's have a listen to the goal on Charlton TV. Your commentators, Steve Brown alongside Terry Smith.
For Charlton, and Gillespie lifts it forward. Again, Anike will challenge, gets something on it. Goden and Coventry looking for it. Berry gets there and slides it home. Luke Berry sends the Valley into rapture as he slides the ball beyond Hemming and into the back of the net. He was the first to react when the dropping ball came. Coventry was buzzing around the dropping ball, but it fell to Berry, who slides the ball beyond the hapless Hemming and gives Charlton the lead.
Yeah, very calm and composed finish. You could have forgiven him for taking a little bit of a swipe at that, but it's just an up and under really from Gillespie forward, and it's a terrible defensive header, I think, in terms of... I know I'm being a bit harsh because you're under pressure from Anike, so you're under physical pressure, but what you've got to say is that our midfield have backed it up. Coventry stepped onto it and got an initial touch.
There's an important touch, yeah.
Yeah, Berry's beyond the ball as well, and so you make your own luck in terms of the players that we were willing to risk to go forward to get the knockdown, to push on to Berry, and then that's a wonderfully composed finish, low down pass Hemming to his right hand side. And if I'm honest, of this second half we have much deserved to be in front over Leyton Orient. First half very even, second half I think Charlton have edged it in terms of commitment to getting the result.
There we go, excellent commentary as always from Tell for the winning goal yesterday. It felt like it was coming in that second half, Tom. It felt we were the side in the ascendancy, but obviously when you get to that late on, you just feel maybe it's just not going to happen for us. So it was such an important moment for Luke Berry. I think the way he took that shows the quality that he has. You know, don't forget he was in the Premier League last season, and maybe some a lesser midfielder might have snatched at that a little bit under that sort of pressure in the last minute.
I totally agree, and I think like Sue said about getting our Charlton back, I think in the last couple of seasons we might have been knocking on the door and probably not got that winner. And if I compare it to Wigan away, obviously a very different game. It felt like if we'd have finished that 0-0, you'd have probably gone, okay, fair result, and we nicked it. I felt yesterday at 0-0, it felt like we deserved the 3 points. I'm not going to say we were brilliant by any stretch, but certainly if we'd have lost yesterday's game, it would have felt very, very harsh. Whereas if we'd lost at Wigan, you'd probably have gone, okay, it was a pretty 50-50 game. So yeah, I was impressed with us overall. As I say, we weren't exceptional by any stretch, but they were a difficult team. They made the game dirty. They dragged us down to the gutter, and we kind of weathered that. And yes, the goal came in the 92nd minute, but if the goal had come in the second minute and then we'd held out for 1-0, you know, it's the same result. So you've got to play for that full game. I think Nath put it in the comments a minute ago that we looked like a fit team. We were able to outrun them towards the latter stages of the game, and that's an important part of the game. So it doesn't really matter when the goal comes. We still got it, and we still get the 3 points. So yeah, I was impressed. I thought Berry brought a real balance to the midfield. I know there was a lot of debate about Croy. I'm not as down on him as some people are. I do think that he does offer us something. But I thought yesterday the balance between the three of them was nicer. You could see Berry making runs from deep quite a lot, particularly in the first half, and just maybe not being found by Small or Edwards. But that second half, he continued to make those runs, and it was one of those that got us the goal. So yeah, I thought it was thoroughly deserved. There's still work to do, of course. We need to improve that creativity, but two games, 2 clean sheets and 2 wins. We talked a lot about needing to score more goals, but when you're keeping clean sheets, you only need 46 goals to win every single game this season. So yeah, really, really pleased, obviously, and to get those back-to-back wins is just such a great start to the season.
Just imagine if we do get the 138 points by winning every game 1-0. Like, don't concede a goal all season. I mean, obviously, that's probably unlikely to happen, Sue. But I was thinking last night about what has Nathan changed over the course of the summer, because last season, I guess there was a lot of conversation about do we know actually what style of football we're going to be playing under Nathan? And it was quite hard to see it last season because we would concede a goal every game through someone doing something particularly stupid. You know, most of those people aren't at the club now, thankfully, but that would sort of ruin our game plan a little bit, which was being hard to beat and trying to find a goal and pressing high, forcing the other side into mistakes and then sort of pummeling them into an error, which is what we do. It looks a lot better this season now. We're not making mistakes ourselves, so you can see what Nathan's trying to put together coming to fruition. It might not be the most attractive thing to watch in the world in terms of football, but I mean, 6 points out of 6, I'm not too concerned at this moment in time.
Yeah, I was chatting to a few people after the game in the fans bar, and I was sort of saying, they were like, "Oh, it weren't great," and I was like, you know what? I don't care if we're winning games at the moment. We can't afford to be picky about that. That stuff will come. We've got players that have got that ability to play good football. And with a few more bodies, hopefully that'll come. But if we're winning 1-0 every week, I really don't care. I'm happy with that. I think what Nathan's brought is probably a sense of confidence. So instilling that confidence into players. Like, again, let's not dwell on what happened last season. It's done. It's over. Let's move on. This is a fresh start. And I think the lads that are still around from last season, I mean, as anyone that ever meets Nathan will know, he's such an infectious character. He's one of them people that his personality is just someone that makes you feel like a really special person, like when you talk to him. And I think a lot of the lads needed that. They needed someone to sort of give them their confidence and belief back. So I just think, like, we've obviously set up better now because we've got better players in those positions, as you said. And I think it's just it feels a lot more stable. So I think, yeah, and when you look at our bench and you see the players, the stat, like the level of players that we can bring on, it just, I guess, for the whole squad, it just has that sense of confidence, you know, like we were going, was it sort of 70, 75 minutes when he brought Chucks and Matty on, like, to know that you've got them two on the bench for the rest of the team even is like, wow, like, we've got something here. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, we just look a lot more organised and the lads look like they're playing with a bit more freedom without that fear.
Yeah, I guess a big part of the fact we're able to win a game 1-0 obviously has to be the defensive display. Again, I feel really sorry for Will Manion, actually, because he must be really bored. Like, he barely has to do anything. And so therefore, we can't sit here and go, you know what, Will Manion's been superb so far. All we can do is, Will Manion's done what he's had to do. Brilliant, well done, Will Manion. But the defence in front of him has been brilliant so far. And I never thought I'd be saying that at times last season. You know, Lloyd Jones was superb. You know, he was the best defender we had last season, and he's really good at the start of this season. Alex Mitchell has looked fine when he's come in. He's made some important interventions. Gillespie, who I was really, really concerned about in pre-season, because I thought he had mistakes last season. In pre-season, he looked off the pace. He's been really good so far as well. I mean, that's a massive bonus for us, Tom. The fact that in order to play the way that we are going to play, those guys have to be bang on it, because one slip and the game plan's out the window, and it will happen. It's going to happen at times this season, but it ain't happened so far, and they're looking really smart so far.
Yeah. Do you reckon Manion, when he was weighing up his options, was looking at us and thinking, oh yeah, I'll have a lot of fun there, it'll be really busy, and then he's come in and he's had nothing to do, or maybe not, maybe the total opposite. But I saw Nathan Jones referenced he's had some stuff going on personally as well, and so to be playing through that, to be playing when it's not clear still if he's supposed to be our number one or not, because I know we were trying to recruit in. I think it's huge credit to him. But as you say, he hasn't had an awful lot to do on the pitch either. But I think that's partly down to the work he is doing around the organisation. And as you say, the defence in front of him. You look at the first game, we gave Edwards man of the match. I think Mitchell was up there as well. Yesterday, I think Kane Ramsey, certainly on the official Twitter, won man of the match by a landslide. The defenders they just look so solid. And Wigan away, I didn't really feel we were going to concede. I know they had a couple of chances. Maybe that one that Ramsey made, the last-ditch tackle, you'd expect the striker to score there, but largely, no. And yesterday, I felt like we could have played that game 3 times and Leyton Orient weren't going to break through. And that, I don't remember feeling that ever last season at all. So it's a huge, huge step forward. And as Sue says, okay, maybe it's not the most interesting, but we're not here. We're partly here to be entertained, of course, but ultimately we want to get promoted. And we're going to get promoted if we have a solid defence and we can score 1 goal a game. So, yeah, I think I expected us to be more solid because I don't think it could have got worse than last year. But I think for Jones to bring 2 or 3 new players into that defence, including Gillespie, who I agree with you, I was worried about being a starter, and to organise them this quickly and get them looking so solid so early on is hugely positive. And of course, things like, well, Saturday is a bigger test already against a good Bolton side, but there are going to be big tests through this season. But we're looking like we can cope with that. And of course, I'm sure they're going to have off days, but that's 180, getting on for 200 minutes of football they've played in the league, and they just haven't looked like they've been largely worried at all. And I think that's a huge, huge step forward.
Yeah, Alex says that I should be feeling more sorry for Ashley Maynard Brewers. He hasn't had a chance under Nathan, but the defence has improved massively even last season after Nathan Jones came in. Luke says, we've gone from Terrell Thomas and Hector on the ball to Jones and Mitchell. I no longer get the shakes when the other teams come forward. And Andreas says Alex Mitchell has made such a difference. Yeah, I mean, I've sort of been holding back on the wing backs because as soon as we start talking about the wing backs, I'm going to lose my mind. But we'll talk about the ones who are on the pitch at the end of the game first. Jake says, I think Ramsey and Small deserve a lot of credit yesterday, especially after the Edwards injury. Ramsey took O'Neill in his pocket. Ramsey's had a couple of really good games so far, yesterday in particular. You're certainly right up there. For you say, I think he got given man of the match. He's certainly right up there. And Small, considering where he came into the game, and I've spoken about the bits that I think he will feel he can improve on when that final ball crossing and all that, but he does offer a different outlet going forward. And he was very lively yesterday, particularly useful in those dying embers after we scored. Just at least once he ran the length of the pitch with a ball just to take the pressure off and hold it by the corner flag, which was really good. Right, let's address the elephant in the room, Sue. The injury to Josh Edwards. I didn't like Sean Clare massively beforehand, but I mean that was a disgraceful challenge. It's one thing mistiming a challenge. You know, you're a bang average League One footballer. That's going to happen. But to mistime it and the type of challenge he went on, I in real time, I thought from the distance I was all the other side of the pitch. I thought he's gone for almost like the scythe, like he swept him with his foot. That's a yellow card. And if you've done that, I'm like, well, that's a bit of a silly challenge, and that's a yellow card, and you can go. But when you actually look at the way he executed that challenge, studs into the ankle of Josh Edwards, and it's a disgusting challenge, and it's not malicious, but it's incompetence, and it's incompetence that's endangered an opponent. I think that's a disgraceful tackle from Sean Clare.
Yeah, I mean, that's in part why I lost my voice, because the fact I just can't get my head around how that wasn't a red card. And I think it just, like, not even that, like, the linesman or referee's assistant are supposed to be there to guide the ref. So if the ref hasn't seen it, which he should have, because the ball was there, so he should always be watching where the ball is. But I feel like in real time straight away, I was like, he nearly took his foot off. But then when you watch it in slow-mo, it becomes worse because his foot was off the ground. It weren't even like sliding in. He'd lifted his foot to get him straight in the ankle. And it was just disgusting. Like, regardless of him being an ex-player or whatever, it was just, I couldn't believe that ref only gave a yellow for it. And like you say, please God, Josh, it's not as bad as we think it might be. Like, he left in an air boot, didn't he? Which I think is probably precautionary. But like, from obviously I wasn't at Wigan, so but what I've heard is he's been a really, really good addition to the team. And you need those sorts of players. So I'm really hoping it's not a bad injury, because I think we'll definitely miss him if it is.
Yeah, I mean, the X-ray likely would be the start of the week. Obviously, they normally wait a couple of days for swelling to go down in these sort of injuries. But again, like when you watch it in slow motion, like you could see it's a proper impact, like it's a proper studs up impact. I mean, I've been analysing it a bit this morning, and it's so high. As just before the challenge comes in, like Josh Edwards' foot is off the floor, which shows how high this challenge was, because then it connects. It feels like just above the ankle, maybe, but it's a really horrible challenge. And like I say, it's down to incompetence for me. Like a player who obviously can't do any better. Like, and it was disgusting. From Sean Clare. Luke says Louis' distaste for Sean Clare has gone up a notch after that tackle. But I mean, I'd have distaste for any footballer who puts in a challenge like that on a fellow professional. Yeah, Joseph says Clare's tackle on Josh Edwards was a red all day long. Mark said he should have seen red. It was filthy. Official Dan Murphy says he was smiling and laughing while we booed him as well. I've lost all respect for Sean Clare. Dudley says it was a disgusting challenge. George said even in real time from the covered end, it was clear to me it was a red card. Clare was never making it. The way he made the tackle made it worse. And yeah, Joseph said I like the way that Najay said it was naughty, as it was bang out of order. And Jay said everyone said it was accidental. I disagree. Edwards had Clare on toast and he needed to take him out of the game. Like I'd suggest it's not malicious, as in I don't think he wanted to break his ankle or anything like that. But I just think it's incompetence, really. Like there's a way to make a challenge like that, and that's obviously not the right way. And he should have been sent off. Like I can understand why the ref didn't see it. Like I said, it's sometimes hard to see it at that pace, but if we had VAR in League One, he obviously would have been sent off. And as Luke said half a second earlier, and if his foot is planted, that's a broken leg. Michael said he had a bad challenge in him for us. Now I think about it, did he? It really soured the result. I can't really remember Sean Clare. I remember he got sent off against Oxford maybe once, but I don't know. Let's put him to bed. Let's stop talking about him, and let's just worry about Josh Edwards, who has had a very good start to his Charlton career. The difference that Chuks and Matty Goden coming on made, Tom, it was nice to see Matty Goden in the squad, because I think, as we said on Thursday, because of the way Nathan handles injured players, we didn't know if he was going to be out for a week or out for 10 years. So it was nice to see him involved. And he did bring a bit of movement and dragging players out of position. And Chuks, we all know what Chuks brings, and involved with a flick on. Coventry, I think you could be generous and say he played it into the path of Luke Berry, although I did watch it back this morning. It's more, I think Coventry was trying to play it into the path for a shot for himself, but it just so happened that Berry was in the same location. But he was there and had a good game, Coventry. But yeah, the difference that those two made when they came off the bench, the two forwards, Tom?
Yeah, I think Conor Coventry's worthy of discussion at some point today, because I know he's caused a lot of debate amongst fans. But on the forwards, I just think, and I can't remember if Sue said it or somebody in the chat, but the ability to bring players like that off the bench and still have people like Kanu on the bench who performed well back after last season as well. So encouraging. I think, look, Matty Godden's clearly still got to get up to speed. He didn't have a lot of time on the ball yesterday, but as you say, move players around. And Chuks, I don't have him as a sort of a guy to flick the ball on like that, but he looks, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because I know he can have 3 or 4 games and then he can pull up with his hamstring, but he looks leaner to me. He looks fitter. And, he made that sprint in the second half, and I'm sure we were all holding our breath and waiting for him to go down, but he didn't. And also he looked like he had the confidence to make that sprint. And towards the back end of last season when he was playing, he maybe wouldn't have even gone for it because he's protecting himself. Now, obviously, it's a long season and we'll see what happens with him. But actually, to be able to completely rotate that front two and offer something different is really encouraging. I thought Ahavme, by the way, played pretty well. He won a lot of flick-ons. They just weren't quite linking up in the way that they needed to. Thought TC got on the ball a little bit more again than he did against Wigan and was able to run forward into that left channel a few more times. Again, you want a little bit more from your strikers, and I still think that will come. But to be able to rotate them both and bring on the quality of Anike, who, again, is a cheat code at this level, and then Matty Goden, who's been, I don't know, up there, certainly. I think he's been Coventry's top scorer, hasn't he, for a few seasons? Or maybe not top scorer in the league, but yeah, there are goals in this side. And I know we're kind of joking about let's win 1-0 every week. And obviously, if we were to do that, that would be great. But we are going to concede at some point, and you need strikers to weigh in with goals. And I think that will come. I'm not worried about that. I think the foundations are there. And I don't think we're going to be lucky this season. And I don't think we're going to be relying on one player to score them. So longer term, I think that's better. And yeah, it'll click for sure. So, yeah, just again, more encouraging signs to add on to all those little positives we spoke about last week and from yesterday's game. It's just all building, isn't it? It's like an extension of pre-season almost. We're still building on that, but now the points count. And yeah, we just need to slowly grow on that and improve a little bit. But yeah, I was impressed with both of them when they came on.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Coventry then. So Ian said one player gets more digs than anyone on the forums is Conor Coventry. Let's start giving him credit. Negativity on him is not needed. George said Coventry plays such an important role. He does his job impeccably at the moment. Yeah, Luke says, agreed, let's back Coventry. We have a habit of scapegoating certain players. Let's get behind everyone this year. And Jake says Coventry reads the game incredibly well. I do think he could be more positive on the ball going forward. That's my only criticism. That's sort of where I am at the moment. In my mind, I still think Conor Coventry is going to play a few more killer passes, but he has started to link things up now. And I noticed in pre-season against Portsmouth the amount of tackles he was winning or reading the game to be in the right place at the right time. The playing the balls forward. The only thing I'm thinking is, well, it is sort of, you have to look at the way we are playing at the moment, which isn't always relying on midfielders to thread little cute passes forward. There is a lot of long ball. There is a lot of using the wing back. So maybe that's not, maybe the way we set up isn't quite working for Conor Coventry to do that sort of stuff. It's not quite conducive to that. But what have you made of him so far, Sue? What did you make of him yesterday?
I think he's one of them guys that just goes about his job quietly. Like, you don't notice him that much because he's just doing what he's doing. I mean, obviously, set plays need a little bit of work from what I saw yesterday, but I think on the whole, he just seems to go about his business and do what he needs to do. And like, I agree with the reading the game. He seems really, really sort of competent about with that. So I think with him, with time, we're going to see more and more how important a role he's got, because we can't have like in some respects you can't have everyone bombing up the pitch to attack. You've got to have that stable person to just sit and see, like, let me look where that's going. Where am I going to like make that pass to go to where we need to get it to? So I think I really like him. I don't think we could judge players on last season because it's just so different. And now he's got better players around him. I think we're going to see why we bought him effectively.
Excellent. Yeah, Jay said he thought Coventry looked all right. He's adding the Dobbo still to his game. Mark says, I don't understand all the rubbish on Twitter about Coventry. I think he's been good just because he don't do about 50 slide tackles a game. He does just need to improve on corners. Stephen said the same about the corners. Needs to practice taking them. But Luke says you'd notice Coventry more when he isn't in the team. He keeps us ticking over for 90 minutes. For me, he's vital for us. Trim, says Ramsey was man of the match by a country mile. Alex felt that TC and Ahad may look like a makeshift front two, not a first choice. Still struggle to see how Alfie May wouldn't fit into this system. Or style. Well, yeah, I mean, it's been and gone now, isn't it? So we're going to find out how we get on without Alfie, obviously, over the course of the season. Just before we hear from Nathan Jones, then Tom, I'll put to you a question I put to him in the interview. Been a good start, 6 points out of 6, but sometimes there's no harm in having a moment like we had at the Valley yesterday, early on in the season, just to really get everyone together. So Berry puts the ball in the bottom corner. Nathan Jones is running down the touchline to celebrate with the lads and then with the fans. The covered end is going crazy. The West End and the Curbs is as well. Like, the noise was superb when we scored that goal. And it felt like a really special moment that can really galvanise everyone and think, right, okay, maybe people are unsure after Wigan. Maybe people are unsure with the overall amount of chances created or something like that. But there's certainly something going on here. There's certainly a team spirit and something that we can, as a club and a fan base, get behind.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think many people agreed with Appleton when he talked about the acting. But even if you do agree with that point, you look at the difference that acting makes when a manager does that sort of stuff. You look at the reaction. I posted the video after Wigan of him applauding the fans. It's got like 400 likes. Like, people want to see this as fans. As you say, it galvanizes the group. And when he's sprinting down the touchline, I know lots of people have kind of referenced the Guy Luzon moment. Like that 99th minute winner or whatever it was from Berg Gudmundsson that game. I was celebrating that for hours after the game, listening to the commentary back because it was so special. And okay, we saw how that went. But I think it's really important. I think it shows that the manager cares. Sue's talked about him as a person as well. We know he's been at the club before and he's got that connection. He talked in his interview, certainly with Charlotte on Charlton TV, about how much he dedicates his life to this game. I think that speaks volumes compared to Appleton with his hands in his pockets coming out and going, oh, well, yeah, we won 1-0 and we played all right. And that you need that as fans. And Amy came with me yesterday. She maybe comes to 4 or 5 games a season. And when Valley Floyd Road was going round after that goal, she was like, wow, that's loud. And like, she's been here when it's been full. You know, she's been here when there's been more people in the ground. But yeah, she was like, that's loud. But we're not used to hearing it like that. So, as you say, it's about those moments. You go all the way back to Dean Holden at Leyton Orient last time when he tried to do that thing in front of the covered end. And I know how it looks now in hindsight, but that's exactly what he was trying to do, right? It was that same thing in terms of getting to the pub and getting around the fans and all of that. And he had his limitations and obviously it didn't work out. But with the quality Nathan's got as a manager, combined with that energy, it's huge for the fans and it's huge for the players as well. I think me and Nath said it in the chat yesterday in our WhatsApp chat. You're not going to let players get away with 95% because he's not. He's putting 100% in every single minute. So as a player, you're expected to do the same. And if you can't, you're not going to be playing here. And as fans, that's all we want to see. We want to see people put in their maximum effort. And that's exactly what he's making them do. So, yeah, as you say, it's still early days, but it does feel like it. He hasn't lost at home, has he, since he came in? He's lost one league game, I think, at all.
The Birmingham game. He's lost two league games, first and last ones that he had last season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he hasn't lost a home league game.
No.
And yeah, I mean, he demands the highest level of performance, not just from everyone, as you're about to hear in the post-match press conference. But yeah, my Amy went yesterday as well, actually, Tom. And she doesn't. Just to clarify, me and Tom don't share the same Amy. This is a different one. But she doesn't get to as many at the moment, obviously, because we've got a young kid. But she was talking about how loud it is, and she has had a season ticket for years before the little one came along. So it really did stand out yesterday. Brilliant, a wonderful moment. Right, let's have a listen then to the Addicts boss, Nathan Jones. Came to speak to me after yesterday's game, and this is what he had to say. Another late win. How did you see that one today?
I was delighted. Thought we were excellent start to finish. Leyton Orient is a good side, really good defensive record. You know, last year one of the best in the league at it. Local derby, 12:30 kickoff. Sky are here, so you know you worry how everyone's going to react. But I thought we were aggressive from the start. If we demonstrated a little bit more quality, if we'd relaxed a little bit, I think in the final third, I think we would have scored more. But the manner of the win was excellent. I thought, you know, there wasn't too much in it first half, but we were controlling the game. Had no real worries with anything. And then second half, I thought we were outstanding. I thought we stepped it up a level. I thought aggressive, the intensity we played at, the amount of opportunities we had. Not necessarily clear-cut chances, but we were pressing constantly in terms of for that winner. Really proud. I thought it was an excellent performance.
The second week in a row as well, they've kept plugging away until they find that moment.
Look, we train at the level. We believe we want to do something. It was a different performance from last week. You know, we had to be defensively sound. Wigan were difficult to play against. They kept the ball in awkward areas. So it was difficult to press and stuff. But we never felt we were going to lose the game. It's just, could we produce moments? Today, I thought we controlled the game. I thought we dominated the game. You know, first half, again, it was relatively even, but we probably the margins were always in our favour. But second half, I thought we came out and I thought we were real, front-footed in terms of what we done, and then eventually got the win.
We saw Luke Berry popping up in some of those areas on Tuesday, so I was not surprised to see him there, but he took it so coolly in added time.
That's what he does. I told the club when people are asking me, why are you signing him? I said, whatever league you play Luke Berry in, he will pop up and he will have that quality and that timing and that ability to find a goal. He did in the Premier League for Luton. He's done in the Championship for Luton. For me, he's done it in League One. He's done it in League Two. That's what he does, and that's why we brought him to the football club.
2 wins in a...
Excuse me. Could you just be quiet, please? I'm just doing my press conference here. All right, mate. Is that all right?
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row that you've kept a clean sheet as well, which is obviously a massive improvement from where Charlton were at times last season.
Well, look, clean sheets win you games. If you keep clean sheets, you only need 1 goal and you're fine. And we've had to get better at that because the team and under 3 managers last year, and I include myself in that, so I'm not having to go at anyone else or being disrespectful. Last year, 3 managers couldn't keep clean sheets at this football club, including myself. So to do that, we knew that we need that platform. We've brought in people that we think can keep clean sheets. We've been aggressive in terms of how we work with them and wanting to be there, and with a front-footed side. So we're not keeping clean sheets by sitting off and being difficult to beat and difficult to play around. We are going after teams, and that's the pleasing thing.
One real sour moment at the start of the first half, the challenge on Josh. I mean, first of all, how is he?
Well, we'll have to wait and see till Monday till we get it x-rayed and scanned and everything. It's not a good challenge. It's a poor challenge. I've been in to see the referee. Referee was, he just saw it. He's instinctively reacted to it and given a yellow. But if that goes to VAR, that's straight red all day long.
I mean, Richie wanted to talk about the referee. You both got booked today. I mean, what were you booked for?
I was booked because I actually can't remember what I got booked for.
Foul that went the wrong way?
Well, maybe, but look, I've second booking I've had, like in terms of the passion, in terms of what we do and stuff. But I sacrificed my life for this, sacrifice every part of my life in terms of making Charlton better. So sometimes you get carried away, and sometimes I have to control that. But look, I'm not saying the referee was poor, and there's a lot of stoppages in the game. They were going down with cramp, 5, 6, 7 stoppages and things. So I'm not sure the referee was bad enough for either side. I mean, if he gets every decision right today, they're down to 10 men anyway. They're down to 10 men. So that's I don't really see the value in moaning about the referee. But there was opportunities when we were after that challenge. Terry Campbell's in, and he pulled it back. So look, I think he was. His performance was exactly the same for both sides, in my opinion.
I think the good start is obviously so important, but I wonder if at a moment like we've had at the Valley today, I mean, I saw you were up the touchline, the fans were going crazy at full time. How good is that for the feeling around the club at the start of this season?
Well, we want to generate something. We want to build something, and building something takes everyone. I can't do it on my own. The owners can't do it on their own. We all have to make sane decisions. We all have to generate things. We want this place to be rocking again. We want to get up the crowd. We want to get a feel-good factor. We want to have a relationship with the crowd so that they see that, hang on, I had someone hammering me behind the dugout. Like, I'm lucky I didn't jump in there, but and things. But that's the passion we have and what we want to drive something on. We're as passionate as the fans in terms of everything, and we want to create something. And I like to get a rapport with our crowd. I like them to see, hang on, this guy's not here just to be a manager or to pick up his money or anything. This means something to me every single day. I sacrifice my life. I'm there when they go to work at 7 a.m. I'm in work. When they come home at 5, 6 o'clock, I'm still at work. And that's how we generate stuff.
What was the fan behind you saying? What was it ever?
I have no idea. Yeah. No idea, but it wasn't very nice.
Okay.
Chuks made a big difference as well when he came on, didn't he? He just gives you. They were sort of tiring, and then you bring Chuks on. It's like a double whammy, basically.
Well, not that. The movement of Goden coming on and what we had, and you're contemplating changing one of your midfield, but you're thinking, no, we're getting opportunities here, and look, we've got a strong squad. We want to get stronger. We've asked for a little bit more as well in terms of getting players through the door and stuff. But look, we want to keep moving forward. But everyone's involved. I've said to them after, there's a Monday group, the trains, right, and see where the ones who played will do a second day recovery, but that Monday group have got to come in and they haven't played, and it's like that. Sometimes we demand from them and they give it, and then that's what we do. That's what we get. So 11 players won't win football games all the time. So what you have to do, you have to have a squad where you can make one change. We had to change Thierry, and Thierry was excellent when he came on. We had to make change early and so on and so forth. And we have to make these decisions. But we need that impact. Game changes, we call them. We don't call them subs. So look, it's good that he did that.
Kane Ramsey as well seems just the way he can step out with the ball at times, and the pass he found for Thierry in that second half. The whole defence played well, didn't they? Are you pleased with what the defence has done for you with the 2 clean sheets and the way they performed? I guess it's an obvious.
This is probably the most obvious question, really. Absolutely. Can we be better? Certain moments, but you're not going to just nullify opposition absolutely totally unless you're in the wrong league. And we've kept 2 clean sheets. We've been beaten by a 30-yard one in midweek. So I think we're in a decent place.
Top of the table after the early kickoffs. I know it's very early days, but still nice, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, it's nice to win 2 games, wherever we end up at the end of the day. But as I said, 10 games will give you a reflection of where you are. At the minute, if someone said to me, you can have 2 wins, you have 2 clean sheets, would you have taken that? I'd have a bit chopped their hand off in every way, shape or form.
And just, you talked about transfers there. Are you sort of talking about the fact you've been backed with the players you brought in, or are you saying that you'd still like to do some more? Because isn't that dependent on outs, or could you possibly still be able to get those players in that you might want to add?
Well, we've got the owners here today, so they've seen something that today they can get behind. So we might, we might ask them for a little bit more. But no, we always want to get better. Every window, I'm saying to you now, every window of this football club will get better in terms of increase, whether it's 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, or like we've done this year, 7. They've backed us straight away and said, look, what do you want? We said, we need that immediately. They've gone and backed us in terms of that, and that's magnificent in terms of that. Now we're saying, okay, we've still got a couple of weeks left of the window, we're in a good place, but we need a little bit more here. Can we have it? And I have no doubt they'll back us.
Hello fellow addicts, I'm so excited to tell you all about our micropub, the River Ale House. The River Ale House is based in East Greenwich. It has 6 Pub of the Year awards, an ever-changing selection of amazing beer. It's owned by Charlton fans, walkable to the ground in just 20 minutes with buses that go direct to the Valley too. If your matchday routine includes a drink with your friends, you must join your fellow addicts in the River. See you soon.
Right, welcome back to Charlton Live. Just for the advert there, we heard from the Addicts boss, Nathan Jones. Don't forget, we're still looking for more advertisers and for a show sponsor, by the way. So if you're interested, get in contact with us. We've also got our Charlton Live merch store. I'm only bringing that up now because I've noticed someone's bought a mug during the show. So thank you to whoever that was. But yeah, charltonlive.etsy.com if you want to buy one of our Charlton Live mugs that's got the former kits on them. There you can see my one's got the old Ecru number there, which I'm a big fan of. Feel free to check that out. Right, Nathan, Luke's asking, was it Richard Corley told to keep quiet? It's okay, you can tell us it wasn't Richard Corley. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but it wasn't Richard Corley, I can tell you that. Richard wouldn't dare. The reason I left it in is because people talking about the manager, how you kind of want to, like, the players will want to run through a brick wall for him soon. And you've spoken about how he makes you feel good, but also I think it'll be interesting to see what happens if you get on the wrong side of him. And maybe we saw a little bit of that in the press conference yesterday. I think if you weren't performing to the standards that Nathan was expecting, you'd soon find out. Is that fair to say?
100%. Funny enough, one of our down at Hastings, as you know, I'm involved with Hastings United, and one of our goalkeepers, Charlie, used to play under Nathan at Luton, and he said, like, God forbid you make him unhappy. So I think, and again, I think that comes down to passion and dedication, because for him, he puts all these hours of work into making us a good side. So if then someone doesn't either listen or follow an instruction, for him, it's almost a failure, isn't it? And how annoying that must be when you've put all this work into this homework and sort of guiding those players, and then they do the exact thing you told them not to do, or they don't do the thing that you told them to do. Like, I understand. And I think actually, as a manager, yeah, everyone, he's got that side to him where he can put an arm around someone if they need it. Like we saw it with Luke yesterday, after Luke scored that goal, like after the celebration, just giving him that cuddle. And like, I think for him, he cares so deeply about his job, and he expects everybody else to feel the same. And if you don't, woe betide you. I
Yeah.
think it's that,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he would demand that level of commitment, and if you're not showing that, then you're out, you're gone.
All right, a couple of emails came in. Colin in Tring said, "Morning all, hard fought and hard working win yesterday. What might be become a typical Nathan Jones game. I reckon the joy is in the win, but not necessarily the style. The back three look more aggressive, as the manager likes to put it. Anyone know how much Hull have paid for Nathan Burstow, Mason Burstow even? Maybe any sell on will increase the player budget. Good, keep up the good work. Always easier when we win, I dare say." I haven't actually seen a figure, so I think Richard was tweeting during the week that it would have to be over the 1.5 that we sold him for any sell-on clause to come in, because it's only done on profit, and it would only be 15-20% of that. So unless the Hull have gone and dropped £10 million from Mason Burstow, I don't think it's going to make a major difference to us, unfortunately. Johnny says, "Nothing beats a last-minute winner at the Valley. Ramsey and Jones were superb. Edwards' injury puts a real downer on the result, though. Why do all these things always seem to happen to us?" Yeah, it's taking the edge off it, isn't it? Tony says, "Looking solid at the back this season. Alex Mitchell has made a difference. You can hear him barking out orders and organising the defence. We have more leaders this season, which we didn't have since Piercy retired. Going forward, I feel we need another attacking midfielder who can unlock opposition defences with a pass, like the look of Berry. But competition in that place won't do any harm." I'm glad you mentioned about Alex Mitchell actually barking out instructions. So I picked up on that in the game at Dartford, because obviously I was pitch side and I wasn't commentating, so I didn't have headphones on. But it's hard to tell for me during a game now, so I'm glad he's still doing that, because I think that will be important. Sam said he was told by someone outside the ground that Nathan arrived at 7 a.m. yesterday. Well, blimey, he's obviously he does speak about how early he gets in and how much he does his work. The other thing he brought up, Tom, yesterday was obviously the owners were there. I've seen a few pictures of a few of them were there. If you look at Richard's Corley's Twitter feed, if they like what they saw yesterday, as Nathan says, well, maybe that would persuade them just to go that extra little bit to further back him.
I hope so. Yeah, I think can go the other way, can't it? And go, well, look, you won with the squad you've got, so why do you need more? But I think if they know anything about football, and I don't know if they do or not, you can see the creativity that we're missing for sure. And I think that, as I think Sue and I have both said, I do think some of that will just come naturally the way the season goes on. But I do think probably we need to strengthen that midfield ever so slightly. And also, I think I'm not sure about the wing back position. If Ramsey gets injured, it's probably Tenai Watson, isn't it? And he had the odd good game last year, but I'm not sure. And on the other side, obviously, I would have said maybe there was a risk if Edwards went out, what happens? But I thought Thierry Small actually played quite well. I know you mentioned the final ball, and I think that's potentially still an issue. But I think largely we're well stocked. We've got good depth. I certainly think in the striker positions we're probably okay. But I do think that midfield, maybe if there was a couple of injuries, I think we talked about, or somebody mentioned, look, we'd notice Conor Coventry if he wasn't there. Do we have a plan for that? Do we have a plan if something happens to Doherty? Same in the centre-back positions, who comes in and what does that look like? So I don't think we're quite there yet. And I think if we're going to get promoted, you need a slightly bigger squad, because we've had injuries over the last years that have cost us. Ultimately, I think our first 11 on paper has often been okay, not brilliant, but okay. But then you get one or two injuries and suddenly we're all over the place. So yeah, I'd like to think they will back us. I know it's been the sort of rhetoric for a while, or the communication for a while is, look, until players go out, we can't bring players in. Whether that's the likes of Fraser and Taylor, realistically, I just don't know how much money they're going to generate anyway. So yeah, I think it would be a real shame if we were to miss out on the playoffs by a few points, and that be down to like an Edwards injury or something that we just haven't been quite strong enough. And I think the owners would regret that as well. Based on the way Nathan's talking about how he performs, I don't think you're going to be able to lay much of the blame at his door in terms of the effort he's put in. So yeah, I think we're almost there. I think if this is the squad, fine, let's give it a good go. But I think if we could get one or two more, it just means that when we get into the depths of winter and we're playing twice a week and injuries start to kick in, that we feel a bit like yesterday, we can bring two players on exactly like we did yesterday and not feel like we're weakening the first 11. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the players coming in potentially know they're going to be second fiddle initially as well. So how many players are out there that are quite happy to sit on the bench? I don't know. So it's not easy by any stretch, but there's still, 12 days of the window left, 13 days left. So it'd be nice to see one or two more through if we can.
Yeah, and Mark's just put something in the chat, which I have to admit I wasn't aware of. I've just looked at Twitter while Tom was speaking, seeing rumours that the Sheffield United owner wants to buy us. So yeah, it looks like it's come from Alan Nixon, which is hard for me to see because you may see on there that Alan Nixon's blocked me on Twitter. But someone else has sort of put the details in, saying apparently Prince Abdullah is now looking at other EFL clubs to buy with the money once he sells Sheffield United, with Charlton on his radar. I mean, I can't see anything coming out of that personally, especially as it's come from Alan Nixon. But mainly because I'd be surprised if we're in a situation where the owners are looking to sell at this moment in time. I think Gavin Carter was in the chat earlier. If you want to come out and deny that rumour, Gavin, you're more than welcome to, but you might be the first you're hearing of it as well, to be fair. So yeah, a bit of a weird one, but thanks for bringing that to our attention, Mark. I'm sure we'll probably never hear of that again, to be fair, but there you go. Let's have a listen to the goal scorer from yesterday, shall we? Luke Berry got his first Charlton goal in the there we go, official word from the board. It's news to Gavin Carter as well, so let's put an end to that already. There we go. Comment from the Charlton Athletic board here on Charlton Live that we've not heard anything about Prince Abdullah wanting to buy us. So someone saying that to Alan Nixon. I can't, because like I say, he's blocked me. Right, let's hear from Luke Berry. His first Charlton goal yesterday, the winner against Leyton Orient. This is what he had to say after the game. Congratulations. How does it feel to get your first goal in such an important time?
Yeah, the way it happened was brilliant. That last minute winner, you can't really write it any better than that in front of the fans at home. It was brilliant. Yeah, brilliant feeling.
I guess as Charlton fans, obviously we're getting to learn a little bit about you. But I saw on Tuesday and today that you seem to like popping up in that area. Is that a big part of your game?
Yeah, it's probably the most natural thing I do. So it's not really something I work on. It's just sniffing off the front two, trying to find a little second ball, and then getting the shot off. The other day against Birmingham, there's a few where I could do a bit better. But luckily I took this one today, and there was a few even in first half. I had a left foot volley, got blocked. There's one where Macca set it, I got it shot off, it gets blocked, but you could kind of sense that it was coming. Yeah,
I was going to say the momentum seems to be building in Charlton's favour, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, it showed we didn't go all hasty and bits and bobs. We were still trying to get it out wide. We were still trying to play. We were still trying to be us. And I think that was a real good learning curve for us. That if we keep on doing our things, keep intense, that finally we'll get a chance, or they'll break down on stuff like that.
If you had to pick a perfect start to the season, I guess two wins and 2 clean sheets would be right up there.
100%. The main thing we've been working on and been talking about is getting them clean sheets. I wasn't here last season, but the gaffer was drilling it into us that you don't get promoted if you don't get clean sheets. And we've got the players in the team to score the goals, so if we keep that clean sheet, I'm pretty sure we'll get a goal and get the win.
First experiences of seeing the Valley at full time when we've won a game like that, it's always quite a special place.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I've done the tunnel jump before I was going to cramp up, but it was brilliant. It's quite a unique thing. I haven't done anything like that before. It's cool. It's something you look forward to doing when you're done well.
How you feel like you're settled in? Obviously, you bring a lot of experience throughout the leagues into the team.
Yeah, there's a few of us who have been around the block, I'd say, and we've been promoted in bits and bobs, and hopefully I can show and teach the younger lads that it's not all about flicks and tricks. It's about grinding out wins sometimes, and today was kind of that, and even the Wigan game was a bit like that, where the main thing is getting the points.
What was the draw to come to SC7? Is it purely to work with Nathan again, or is it the project that he's putting in place here?
The project, the club, I've always admired the football club at Charlton, and I've come here, played here, and never done well. It's always been a tough atmosphere, and today I think you could hear that and sense it, that the crowd were building. They were on our side trying to get the win, and eventually it came.
You look at this Charlton squad, obviously, like I say, with the experience you've had over the years, do you see this as a squad that can do something this year?
For sure, we just need to stay doing our basics and keep learning from. There'll be things we've done wrong today. Just making sure we learn from that and progress as long as the season goes, and we'll get better and better with that. as long as we keep that intensity of how we play, you see a lot of their lads are cramping up. We're not. I don't think any of ours even cramped up in the heat. So we're only going to get stronger. If you look at the Gaffers teams, we always seem to get stronger the longer the season goes on and more momentum comes. So if we just keep learning, keeping that intensity, we'll be fine.
We'll see a great ending to the game. We had a difficult moment at the start when Josh has had to go off injured. I don't know if you're anywhere near the challenge. If you had a view on that.
I saw it. It looked like a nasty one. It was like one of them. What was a bit of like an amber card, weren't it? It could have sent him off because it was horrible. But yeah, I didn't see it. I've seen him in a boot, and hopefully the scans and bits and bobs what the physios would do doesn't come out that it's too bad.
So the best thing about this week is we've beaten a Wigan side who probably do quite well this season, Leyton Orient side who probably do all right this season, and took Bolton quite a long way next season. Next week it's Bolton at home, so it's some real good tests at the start of this season to sort of see where we are as a barometer.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we've got a good little 6 points in the tank, but with the gaffer, he won't let us ease up. We need to be winning every single week. He will go into every game where we need to win, and Bolton won't be any different. We feel like we're a better team than them, and we need to prove it. And it's starting with all them basics, them intensities, and being us.
There we go. That's Luke Berry speaking to myself after yesterday's game. Yeah, maybe let's just touch on the question I asked right at the end, Tom, about the barometer. So Wigan, I thought looked quite good. I don't know what their result was yesterday. Actually, I haven't really looked at the scores other than ours, but I thought Wigan looked all right last week. I thought Leyton Orient. Me and Nathan Muller were both obviously in the press conference, and after I said I was a bit surprised by how down Richie Wellens was. I thought he'd be a bit more pleased with their performance overall. Yeah, maybe they didn't offer a great deal going forward, but defensively they looked okay and they held us at arm's length for a time. But he was really he wasn't massively impressed with the performance. He to be fair, sitting there watching him, he is like a little mini Nathan Jones himself. Actually, he's quite funny. But he was disappointed with their performance. But man, like Orient last week were very unlucky not to get something against Bolton. So I've got them down as like not a bad team, an all right team. So that's 2 games against sides that feel like they're, I don't think Orient will be playoff chasers, but Wigan probably will be, that feel like they'll do okay this season. And we've got results. I just wonder, can we learn anything from that so far, the early stages, that the teams that we have beaten?
I don't know is the honest answer. So I think it's probably too early. I agree. I know Wigan lost yesterday, but I don't think that's a barometer.
That's a down. That turns out they're rubbish then. So I'm
they're going to lose 46 games and not score a single goal. So they'll be the complete opposite to us. But no, I think probably, as you say, Wigan will be up there. Like you, I obviously didn't see the Leyton Orient game against Bolton because I was at Wigan, but I'd heard that they played well as well. And they're obviously a relatively established League One team now. And we lost to them away last year. I know we beat them at home. I think that in terms of the barometer, I think what we can take is looking at ourselves. And I think those are positives. They're not 2 lucky wins. Okay, both the goals came late and we've won them by small margins. But when you put the work in that Nathan and the players are putting in, those small margins are not a fluke. So I think, whereas last year, like Nathan was saying on, I don't know if it was Thursday or Sunday show we were both on, you're saying, look, I don't think we're going to get pumped 5-0 in any game. I also think when we do have fine margins, more often than not, they're going to go our way. And I think that's down to what we've got. So who knows? We might struggle against Bolton and we maybe will nick something. But I think there's more chance of us getting points this season than there would have been in previous seasons. And that's with what I deem to be a stronger league this year. So, yeah, I think that's how I would look at it. I think it's probably too early to tell in terms of oppositions at the moment. It's maybe too early to tell in terms of us at this stage. But I think what I'm seeing over the first few games and pre-season is a consistency in terms of energy, in terms of grit, in terms of the players playing together, in terms of the players giving 100%. And if all of that continues, even when we have down games or we lack creativity, I think we've got it in us to nick it. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. I know people are saying it's not the most entertaining, but to be honest, I'm not bothered. I've had enough of League One and I want to get out of it. So we do that any way we can. And next year when we're in the Championship, then we can worry about all that stuff then. That's personally how I see things.
Yeah, Jake says, I couldn't stand Richie Wellens. He looks more like a Steve Evans than a Nathan Jones. A good manager, but always in the fourth official's ear. We should have had a penalty and they should have had a red. Yeah, we should have Chuks and EK moment. It certainly look. I haven't seen it back, but it certainly looked like it could have been a penalty on first viewing. Jake adds that the audacity to come out and complain about the referee is quite phenomenal. Again, I wish I recorded it, but I didn't bother. But when Richie Wellens came in yesterday and Richard Corley asked him about the tackle from Sean Clare, and he didn't give much of an answer. But then before Richard Corley could ask his next question, Richie Wellens went, "Can you ask me about the referee?" He's asking his own questions, so he could have a moan. James is saying, "Fine margins. I suspect if we hadn't got the late winner, we would have been having a good old moan up this morning." Yeah, but we can only talk about what did happen, obviously. And if the side was going to win it, it was going to be us, and we did. So great. Right, we've run out of time on this Sunday morning. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I certainly have. As the Addicts extend their 100% record at the start of this campaign. Massive thanks to all of you then who've joined us live on YouTube or caught up after the event on YouTube or on the podcast feed. Thank you for listening. Massive thank you to Sue and Tom. Good to speak to the pair of you this morning.
Cheers, both.
You too. Thank you.
Well done, Sue. Your voice held up actually for the whole hour, which was good. So I'm pleased with that as well. So don't forget, we'll be back on Thursday then when we'll have a proper good look ahead to the game with Bolton Wanderers at the Valley next week. We look forward to seeing you then.